One came out swinging, only Big Ten quarterback throw for 300 yards.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel confident. I think we had a really good game plan that made it really easy on me, especially with the way our O-line played and with our playmakers. So, I feel really confident, but we got to keep this thing going.
Was the plan to come out throwing last week?
Yes, it was.
Just talk about that quick start you guys have and what Branch looks like he's going to need.
Yeah, he's obviously a big-time playmaker. I've known this since we've both been here as freshmen. He's always been a great player in practice, never really got the opportunity. So I'm really happy for him that he's got the opportunity now. We started fast because he made a big play. And if you have guys that can do that, it makes it easy to start fast.
It's the first time we've talked to you since you came back here. Just tell me about camp and this quarterback competition. You've been going through quarterback competitions for 3 years here now. So
yeah.
To come out as the guy that gets to start in week one.
Yeah, it was definitely an honor to, come out and win the job. But, all the credit in the world to our whole room. We have a really talented room. I think all of us are very capable of, going out there and doing what I did. And I think we all made each other a lot better throughout the summer and throughout camp. So, I'm really grateful for all those guys.
What was the transition for you and Bennett? We're here through, the last couple of years. Let's come in with a new staff and kind of just get a fresh approach to Purdue football.
Yeah, it's been great. Me and Bennett are really close. We've been able to, talk about how different it is and, how lucky we really are because, Purdue's an amazing place. We have this beautiful facility, and we feel like we've got coaches that we can really win with.
What are some main points of emphasis for you guys now that you all actually have some tangible game film to look at against?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, the little things are what makes the biggest difference. So I think, I had a lot of plays where I could have been a lot better, and I think every position was probably a little bit like that. I'm not going to talk about them as much as myself, but I think I had a lot of room to improve, and I think as an offense, we could have been a lot better.
Can you talk a little bit about your portal experience, just kind of what you were looking for when you went out the first time and what you were looking for the second time you entered in the spring?
Yeah. Losing a coach and being on a team is kind of an interesting place to be in. And I wasn't sure what it would be like, just waiting and being the guy that a coach just got here. Some guy was just there. So I went and explored my options, and that's when I ended up in North Carolina. I thought that was the best spot for me. And I, cherished my time there, made a lot of lifelong friends. I learned a lot about the game. But I think I realized just being gone that Purdue's home, and I think I'm meant to be here.
What was it like just getting coached by Bill Belichick and getting the stories for him?
I don't think I can tell any of the stories. But he was great. He was a really personable guy, very smart. I learned a lot from him. And I'm really grateful for that experience.
Ryan, you seem to have a great rapport with your teammates. Can you just talk a little bit about how you built that rapport over time?
Yeah. I don't think it's anything more than just being myself. And I think our whole team, everybody's just themselves. And that's the most important thing, to build relationships with people. Is just be genuine, be a real person. And I think people see how hard I am on myself. And I think that just builds respect amongst everybody else.
In some ways, does it even feel like you're gone?
It does feel a little bit like a dream now. But I'm just happy I'm back.
Did you even unpack and shop the hill?
No, I didn't.
Tommy asked about Armand earlier. When you threw to a guy in the first series, he breaks a couple tackles and gets in the end zone. You throw one up down the sideline and he makes a one-handed grab. How much does that kind of re-instill trust that you had before you left here, just knowing he's
right.
Playing with what he is?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I was surprised by anything that he did on Saturday. I've seen him do that for a long time. I think he's definitely grown as a player. He's, on a mission to prove that. But he's great. He works hard. I'm really proud of where he's at right now.
What was your best pass Saturday?
I'm not sure. After the game, I only think of the bad ones.
Did you watch the next TCU game?
I watched the first quarter and then I had to get to bed for practice. I think they have a long season ahead of them just in terms of growing. But I think Coach Belichick's going to get them right. And I believe in all those guys over there. I think they'll be all right.
This coaching staff's very process-oriented. Where do you feel like you and the offense have improved from the Ball State game today?
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing is, like, you're never a finished product. So, like, no matter what, the process is going to continue. And for myself, I always look at NFL quarterbacks. Like, a guy like Tom Brady, he was 45 before he was even retired, and he still said he wasn't good enough. And so I think a lot of the guys on our offense have that mentality. We've talked about Michael Jordan, the similar mindset where, like, you're never, like, no matter how good you are, you can always be better. And if you have that mindset, you're just going to keep getting better, and that's all that matters.
Do you think Ball State was daring you to throw the ball if you want to see you throw the ball?
No, I don't think so. On film, they were a heavy run fit quarters team. And that's what they did all last year with their defensive coordinators. They want to make people throw the ball. They wanted to stop the run, so we kind of had an idea that that's what we were going to get. So it wasn't anything more than that, I think.
What do you think of the FCS school?
I think they're a really good team. They're an old team. They've got a lot of experience. Their head coach has been there for a long time. So I think we need to prepare like they're the best team in the Big Ten, because at the end of the day, any team can win.
The coaches talked a lot about your versatility as a runner. To get that rushing touchdown finally, what did that mean for you?
Yeah, it was exciting. I almost had one 2 years ago, got called back. So it was definitely a good feeling, but whatever I can do to help the team win.
You talked about Armand a minute ago, just the receiving group as a whole. What kind of stuff did you guys do outside of practice to just build that chemistry, since you guys weren't on campus for very long ago?
Well, I think a big thing we did was, we threw routes all summer, like outside of what we did after a workout or something. We would come back later in the day and do stuff together. And talked about the playbook, got timing down. I had watched film with some guys over the summer. And I think even bigger than that is, like, after a play, if I throw a bad ball and I miss Mike on something, I go talk to him and I say, hey, I was thinking this, and he's like, I was thinking that, and we get a good idea of where we're at and why we miss each other, and kind of get on the same page. And I think we've done a really good job of communicating.
There were some things that I think in the past you probably taken snaps in practice from Ryan Browne. Really, he gets a scholarship, come back as a starting guard. What's it like to see a guy like that get the payoff, get the start, get the scholarship? He's worked his butt off to get this.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for Ethan. He's been one of my closer friends since I first got to Purdue. I guess he got here after I did. But I was so happy for him. I remember when he was put on scholarship, I posted it on social media. I was so proud of him, like, so happy for him. And he's really the hardest worker on this team, I think. Like, he wants to be good, and he's humble, and he just does everything right. And I think he deserves it more than anybody.
I know it's been a while, Ryan, but can you take us back when you were told you won the job and you were starting? What that was like, where happened at?
Yeah, we just met up in Coach Henson's office. And obviously, like, I was super excited, but, my goal was not to just come win a starting job. Like, I want to go win games. Like, that's the whole reason we play. So, it was exciting for sure and a good feeling, but, you got to take it and run with it, show them why they made the right decision.
What was the coaching staff's message to you when you were in the portal the second time that got you to come back?
Yeah. Well, I did talk to them a little bit before I had, committed elsewhere. So, they just asked me how my spring went, and told me, how they could be able to use me in this offense. And, I had talked to my friends. Once they started talking to me, I talked a lot to, the guys on the team now about, like, what are they like, how's the culture, a lot of things like that. And I heard amazing things from everybody, so I was all in.
Didn't you talk to Purdue before you left, too?
Yes, I did. I came in and met with them It was a pretty quick meeting. He was really busy, so I really appreciated that he fit me in because I think it was like his first or second day on campus. Um, so that was important to me. Um, and it was good. I got to get a feel of who he was. But at that time, we didn't have any other coaches hired, so it was really hard to make a decision just off of one guy.
Is that a meaning you wanted?
I wanted it. Hopefully, it was mutual. But yeah.
New kickoff against Ball State, and the stadium was full. What excites you most about it that game this week at Ross State?
Yeah. I mean, our fans are amazing. It's so awesome that, one thing just going off of what we did last year, I don't want to talk about last year, but the way the fans showed up, and I think the most amazing part about that is there was no question in my mind that they would, regardless of what had happened in the past. So like that is the coolest thing ever to have fans like that. And I can't wait to see how they show up for a night game.
Is it a different prep on Saturday, or I guess just a feeling going back, I guess, to the Oregon game last year, where you're just sitting around all day waiting to play versus getting up and a few hours later you're out on the field?
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's too different. I think valuing your rest and your fueling during the day is definitely a little bit harder as you wait around during the day. So I think it's just important to get off your feet, feel your body, stay ready to go, and avoid distractions. That's the biggest part.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,
See you.